retrain the brain, release your stress, and discover inner peace and happiness. The name of the program, Eastern Wisdom. I have been repeating, understand. Diana said she wants to understand. So Eastern Wisdom is 6,000 years old. We have 3,000 texts and teachers. And the goal of the Eastern Wisdom is to manage your pain. Pain may be physical, mental, emotional, social, professional. And second goal is to achieve well-being, but the primary goal is to discover inner peace and happiness. Eastern Wisdom, like science, aims at the discovery of the truth. Science discovers the truth in the objective space, in the outer space. And Eastern Wisdom discovers the truth deeper inside, in the inner space. Means what? Who am I? You will say, I know. When I go to the airport, I show my passport. Here I am. This is my name, Diana. I'm so years old. I live there. That is me. For example, the entire journey of the Eastern Wisdom is because we don't know our true nature, that's why we suffer. Why we suffer? Because we are ignorant of our true nature. What is my true nature? What is that subjective reality? Let me take you to a journey to a very little smaller principle. Vision. Two eyes form a vision. I'm not asking you how old are you, maybe 30, 40 and 50, 60. Thank you. You have been so truthful. Okay. During the last 20, 30 and 40 years, this vision is perceiving, experiencing millions, thousands of the people, colors, shapes, things. Did you ever realize this vision never changed? Everything outside changed. Did you ever realize that? So what happens, the knower, the instrument by which you know, the knower that the vision never changes with reference to the people, things, and the possessions you perceive. We have been doing it for years together. But then what happens? You're married, you're happy, and then what happens after a few months? Your vision changes. You see that? So who understands? Who changes that vision? It is the mind behind the eye, right? The mind now says you are good. The mind says you are bad. The eye do not say. This vision never says. The vision perceives the thing as it is. You understand what I'm saying? You understand that? Huh? Eye is like a camera. Yeah? If I open the camera, I can see Carmela, not me. Because the vision reflects as it is. What changes? Mind. My mind changes. But why that mind changes? Today I like you, I love you, I'm obsessed with you, and tomorrow I want to be in peace and happiness. What should I do? Divorce. Why? What happened to my mind? Eastern wisdom is a journey to a clear and a deeper understanding of your inner instrument. So that mind desired just after the marriage, everything becomes rosy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But after some time, I'm so miserable. Who says this in you? The mind. Why it says this? Why you change your position? You blame others that you have changed your position. Why don't you blame your mind? Why don't you blame your mind? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Huh? Why don't you blame your mind? Then you say, because I realize now the other is really crazy. And before, the same mind watched, and the same mind said, oh, you're so wonderful. You're so wonderful. You will always remain wonderful for me, don't worry. Whether you join me. You see that? The mind. Huh? Mind. What happened to this mind? What happened? So there the principle of the Eastern wisdom comes. What Eastern wisdom says? This mind, pay attention, go home, contemplate, and start living in peace and happiness, and then we'll start your journey. So the Eastern wisdom says, when the mind goes out seeking peace and happiness, two things happens. Where? Inside you. Not in others. It happens inside you. So the master says, when this mind goes outside, first thing this mind feels that I'm incomplete. I have to seek something outside in the world for my self-fulfillment, for my peace and happiness. First thing, what? The mind says, I'm incomplete in myself. I'm miserable. And the second thing the mind says, I will get happiness from other. Anything outside is other. Whether you go to a restaurant, whether you meet your honey, anyone. You understand what I'm saying? You got it? Two things. The mind starts the journey of a desire by experiencing that I'm incomplete in myself and I'm seeking something other than me. You are other to me. You all are other to me. I'm other to you. The moment the mind moves outside. We don't realize this. We never realize this. So we marry. Why? Because we want to be happy. We divorce. Why? Because we want to be happy. We remarry again. Why we want to be happy? The mind is constantly looking outside, incompleteness and desiring happiness from you, from you, from you. It will never happen. Do whatever you want. Do. Continue the journey. That is why the knowledge is required. So first we understand this. So then what happens? Now the Eastern wisdom says your true nature is always full of peace and happiness. Why you are miserable, running after people, position and things? Why? That is the journey of retraining the brain, releasing the stress and discovering inner peace and happiness. There are many ways, many paths, but they follow the same fundamental principle. As long as you experience you are miserable, the mind will continue to desire outside. It will continue to seek peace and happiness, either in a person or in a possession or in relationship. I'm not saying you leave everything. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that go to the Himalayas and leave everything. That is not the meaning. I have to change the direction of the mind. The moment you change the direction of the mind goes inside, it stays within in order to discover. There you fire the brain and rewire it. Neuroscience says what it says. If you hold on to your mind naturally deep inside for an extended period of time in the state of awareness and attention, what happens? It fires the brain. What it means by fires the brain to rewire it, it changes the structure and the function of the brain. What it means by changing the structure and function of the brain? For example, you have your brain has created a pain pathways if the pain is chronic, if it is longer than 6 months. So possibility is that it is the brain that reminds you of the pain. So when I say fire the brain to rewire it, changes the brain pathways. And after a period of practices, depending on your level, you change it and the pain goes. Am I saying this? No. The same thing, it happens with your attitude, your perception, your life. And in the end, what happens, you awaken to that inner peace and happiness. So today's program that we are doing, it is an active meditation. What is active journey? We use body as an instrument. The way you use car as an instrument. We use mind as an instrument. Means that conscious mind is given a direction to do something with the body, to change the state, to do something with the mind, to do something with the emotion, to do something with the intellect. And the first part is already done by gossiping. I just made the gossip, you know that? This knowledge. First we understand intellectually. Once we understand intellectually that if the mind goes inside, if it is withdrawn inside, we can change the direction of the energy and we can discover inner peace and happiness. So after the practice, we'll share our experiences. So be very open, ruthless. It is you did the practice. It is your experience. Nothing belongs to me. I give the practice and done. I'm finished with it. That's what I have been doing. So let us start our journey. Retraining the brain. First step, prepare yourself. How to prepare? Steady, happy and relaxed. Sit or lie down. Whatever is more comfortable to you. You can sit, and you can sit or lie down. Good. So now see, it is a conscious journey. Means what? It is not like driving, when you become an expert driver, you are listening to the music, you are texting, and you're talking to the people. That doesn't work in Eastern wisdom. Eastern wisdom says we need 100% of the mind. That is why I say it is a conscious journey. So eyes are closed, gently. Be steady. Steady in a natural way. How? Look at the neck joint. When you look at the neck joint, what is the conscious mind does? It feels the sensation. Accept it. Okay? The conscious mind says, I feel discomfort. Change the position. Adjust and align. But not repeated changing the position. When you repeat, every time you change the position, after every minute, what it means? The mind is crazy. Mind doesn't want to do it. And then you will say, okay, I'm not getting any benefit. Why you will get benefit? Look at the hip joints. Feel the sensation. That sensation tells you you're comfortable and okay. Knee joints. Comfortable. How do you know that? I'm not saying that you must feel. I'm saying explore, discover. My friends, look at the ankle joints and the toes. So once you are comfortable, you need not to move it. But if the mind moves, the mind wants to go out. Mind plays tricks with us. Did I not discuss about it? The mind moving out because of incompleteness and desiring happiness in others. So the body is steady. Second point. Whereas second point is being relaxed. You're standing across a highway, there is a traffic jam, you watch it, but you are relaxed. Why? There is a knowledge. What is that knowledge? That I am separate from the traffic jam. I am standing across the road. Apply the same to your mental traffic. Let the thought come and go. So you are untouched. You are separate. The thought comes, good. Influx of thought is there. There is a traffic jam inside your head. Okay. Why? I'm separate. I'm not the mind. Can it happen by repetition? Or can it happen by thinking? No. It happens through awareness. You knowing. So now you are free from the entire thought process. Let it happen. Let it come and go. Third point. So steady, relaxed, and be happy. Why should I be happy? Why should you be happy? We are discovering inner peace and happiness. We don't need anyone. No person. No relationship. No time. No place. Why? It is within me. Don't you think it is a moment of happiness? And that gaze inspires you. That inspires you. But all the three steps, which I say is a preparatory step, helps you to experience the state of mindfulness. Also, you see that? That is the journey. In the second step, we will release the energy from the unconsciousness. Where is the release of energy? The energy is clogged in the lower consciousness. Where it means the lower consciousness is of fear, of anxiety, of duality, of conflict, of the mind. How many times it went outside seeking peace and happiness, and then it returned with a frustration. All those impressions are accumulated in a memory bank, which is known as chitta or the mind stuff. That lowers our consciousness. We have to release it. And let us do it in a simple way. The first, look at the chest and start breathing through the nostrils. Quicken the fast breathing from the chest. Only you inhale, expand your chest, and you contract and exhale. Inhale, expand, contract, exhale through both the nostrils. Long in the hissing. Fast in the hissing breath. Total expansion of the ribs and total contraction of the ribs. That will work. Did I say the conscious journey? Yes. You know when you inhale, the chest expands. You know when you exhale, the chest contracts. Continue. Do not stop in the middle. Continue. Continue. And stop it. So when you stop it, do nothing. Just observe. Look at both the arms. Be there and experience the sensation, relaxation, and the stillness. Why? We have to learn from our own experiences. I'm an instrument. I'm just pointing you out the way you can discover peace and happiness. You have to discover peace and happiness by yourself. Look at both the legs. Sensation, relaxation, and the stillness. The entire body. It is good to do something more intensive. And we will be doing some more intensive to see that how it works. So now, in the second part of releasing the energy from the unconsciousness, in fact, that raises the mind up. So bring your right hand on the nostril, close your right nostril and start inhaling deep from the left nostril. Deep, long, and the hissing, both from the belly and the chest. Long in the hissing, long in the hissing breath. What is guided meditation? Simple understanding. You loan the mind of a teacher during the practice and you keep your mind aside. You don't listen to your mind. The mind will create lot of challenges to you. It will say, no, I cannot do it, I should not do it, I feel something bad. That is how the mind blocks your progress. And that mind is a lower mind. Continue. Now close your left nostril and start with the right nostril. Long hissing in the fast breath. Long hissing in the fast breath. Long hissing in the fast breath. Please, long hissing in the fast. Remember the guided meditation tip. When you are listening, as if your mind is listening to your mind and doing it. And you keep your mind aside because you loan my mind during the practice. You do not stop. Do not bring in your mind in between. That makes the change. And stop it. Bring the hand down. Do nothing. No more movement. Look at the head and the neck. This time, I'm not asking your mind to experience. The experience will follow. Raise your awareness of the head and the neck. How? Look, feel, sensation, awareness. Now see, in all the 4 words, there is nothing like doing or experiencing. The experience will follow. The right arm, look, feel, sensation, awareness. Left arm, look, feel, sensation, awareness. Right leg, look, feel, sensation, awareness. You're keeping your mind aside. You have parked your mind outside. You have loaned my mind. Once not only you understand, but you are in the journey, it will help you to reach to the highest state even today. Look at the left leg. Look, feel sensation and awareness. The entire body. Entire body. Look, feel sensation and awareness. Done. There are 3 layers of impurities in the mind that pulls the mind down, and it becomes crazy, lazy, obsessed, miserable. So the first part we have done by the 2 different ways of breathing, followed by raising our awareness. And now we will specifically release that unconsciousness in a little typical way. Let us do it. Inhale deeply into the chest. Continue to expand the chest. Inhale deeply into the chest. Do it, do it, do it, and stop the breath. Look inside the heart and mentally start hammering. Hreem, 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 hreem. You're looking into the space. You're filling that space with the sound of hreem, 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 hreem. Release the breath. Do nothing. Allow the breath to be normal. Let the breath flow on its own and watch it. How long it takes for the mind to be normal. Or the mind brings in some kind of fear or a sense of anxiety. That is why everyone has a different experience. Body remains totally parked. It is in the state of the stillness, calmness. Inhale deeply again into the chest. Expand your ribs. Hold the breath. Look deep inside the chest and start hammering that space with the sound of reem, 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 reem. Mentally, you hear the sound. You are doing it so fast, loud. You are very clear. Release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal on its own, but the body remains totally still. During the process of a hammering, you have to maintain your awareness and attention that no thought comes in between the two hammering of the sound. And if that happens and you know it, you can experience something unusual, extraordinary state. Let us do it and see it. Inhale deeply into the chest. Continue to inhale. Expand your ribs. Hold the breath. Look inside the chest and start hammering. Reem, 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 reem. There is a disclaimer, even though you are retaining the breath in between 15 to 20 seconds only, and that is enough. Nothing more needs to be done. But if you find any discomfort, you should stop doing it. Release the breath. Do nothing. In height of the exclamation, at height of extreme happiness or a shock, the breath also stops for a couple of seconds. That ranges from 5 seconds to 20 seconds. We don't realize it. That's what I took the coup from that natural lifestyle. Now inhale deeply into the belly. Let the belly become a balloon. Hold the breath. Look inside the belly. Start hammering with another sound of clean, 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 clean. Hammer it. as quick, as fast as possible. This is the second layer of the impurities we are cleansing before going deeper. Release the breath. Do nothing. Just do nothing. So when you do nothing, means you always keep your mind aside. But at the same time, you are learning from your own experiences. Something happens. Your experience changes. You may have a vision or a vision of a color or images, or you can experience the deeper sense of tingling, numbness, calmness. It is okay. Inhale deeply into the belly. Continue to inhale. The belly should become a balloon. Hold the breath. Look inside the belly button and start hammering with the sound of clean, 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 clean. It is so quick, fast, and loud. Don't use your lips or the tongue. It has to be done mentally. That is the process. Release the breath. Do nothing. So after releasing the breath, allow the breath to be normal and see that how many breaths it takes your mind to experience that normal and habitual breathing. But don't worry about it. It's a journey. The Eastern wisdom always says it is always a journey. Why? We want to discover that infinite. Last, inhale deeply into the belly, expand the belly, make it like a balloon. Look inside the belly button, hold the breath and start hammering. Clean, 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 clean. Release the breath. Do nothing. Remember, just to point you out, there are many principles involved, Some people may fall into sleep. That is a mental state of the sleep, mental state of the waking, mental state of the dream. We cannot progress in advanced phase in sleep or a dream state. But no doubt in the beginning, and this program also helps you to go into a very deeper state of relaxation, and that induces the sleep. Continue, don't fight with it. The time comes, naturally, the inner changes will help you to maintain that waking state. So don't fight with it. Now inhale deeply into the belly and the chest up to the throat. Continue inhaling. Hold the breath, look inside the forehead, and the mantra, the sound is aim, 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 aim. That is a Sanskrit syllable that represents the power of wisdom. We are invoking three powers. Power of wisdom, power of emotion or intention, and the power of will that drives us to action. Release the breath. Do nothing. Just do nothing. Help the breath to be normal. Don't worry about it. I know you all have kept your mind aside. I appreciate it. Perhaps today I see that everyone is doing fantastic. Don't pay attention to your mind. Mind will say a lot of things to you. What did I say? What is guided meditation? I have loaned my mind to you. You know that? I know you're aware of it. Inhale deeply, first into the belly, then into the chest, up to the throat. Hold the breath inside. Look inside the forehead. Aim, 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 mentally. You fill the entire space inside the forehead with aim. It is so fast, loud, and quick. Without having a single thought in between, release the breath. Do nothing. Let the breath be normal. You see, the mind may ask you, oh, I can retain the breath for a longer period. Useless. We don't need that. We don't want to follow the unconscious mind and the habitual mind. You see that? The meditation is defined in one of the greatest texts as a understanding of equanimity at the mental level. Inhale deeply into the belly and the chest. Hold the breath. Look inside the forehead. Start hammering. Release the breath. Do nothing. Allow the breath to be normal. Live into that state. You experience the changes in the physical, tingling, numbness, freezing, sinking, rising of the body as if we feel it. And they have a symbolic significance only. If you feel it, let it happen, let it come, let it go. Now look at the breath, and it is the highest step. You can see the most powerful step. Your mind will say no. I know that. Look at the breath. The moment the breath goes in, look inside the forehead and drop the sound. Aim. Only one aim. Breath comes out, take the sound, aim. The breath and the aim merges together and touching a point deep inside the forehead. So simple. And yet, these 3 steps are the most powerful because the mind has accumulated a lot of impurities that we say unconscious material. That is why we need to do the previous steps. Not required. But you have done in a way that is totally harmless. There are no dangers in any one of my program, provided you follow every step carefully with a disclaimer. Your experience, the body is parked like a car. The breath is normal. The breath going in, looking inside the forehead, comes out, looking inside the forehead at a point, and there you drop aim. Aim in, aim out. To keep that awareness intact, and that fires the brain to rewire it. You're not listening to your mind now. Two changes in the next step. Your awareness and attention drops inside the heart with the breath going in and out. Just keep looking at any point deep inside the center of the chest when the breath goes in and out. And here the sound is Hreem. Breath goes in, drop Hreem, comes out Hreem. Now look inside the belly button with the breath going in, coming out at any point inside the belly button, and drop the sound. Clean. Simple. These 3 steps are the most powerful steps. But the mind that is obsessed with doing something is always engaged with the intention of seeking peace and happiness outside from others. And that mind will say, oh, this is so easy. Means what? The mind is in ignorance. That is what we discussed in the beginning, citing many examples. Eastern wisdom is a journey, not a destination, my friends. It is not like going to a restaurant, eating and getting the pleasure. We are talking of peace and happiness. It is a journey every time. Regular practice with the wisdom are required. Doing nothing now. Remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. The Eastern wisdom follows different ways to conclude the session. Sometimes it concludes as a reminder that peace and happiness lies within. The teacher speaks of it and asks the student to work on it, to contemplate. Other way is a recitation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your eyes, make the palms like a cup over the eyes. In total darkness, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. Now is the time to share your experiences. Why? To help you progress. You may not be fully aware of it. I cover in the last, when you share the experiences, helpers and the barriers, myth and the facts, progress and perfection, and how you can continue the journey until you discover inner peace and happiness once you share your experiences. So, how are you, sir?
Very relaxed and peaceful.
Very relaxed and peaceful. That's wonderful. Your honey might be very happy. No, I'm just kidding. She is wonderful. Isn't it? Does she not ask you that what you did today?
All the time.
I like it. That's good. I'm hoping, within a couple of weeks, I'll give you some good example. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Temperature, body temperature been changing from hot to cold.
But you feel good, calm.
I feel very calm.
Wonderful. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I felt very heavy, especially in the beginning, from pretty much the first minute, my left half was much heavy, but then it kind of equaled it out, and I was pretty deep, and when we were breathing with both stomach and the chest, I felt sort of a vibration, and I realized that maybe I was kind of like, it felt like a heartbeat, amplified, but I felt it in my stomach, which was strange feeling, you know, I kind of felt, I don't think it was a vibration, probably was my heartbeat, but I felt it like, you know, through my entire body, not just in
My
chest.
entire. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Sometimes what happens when these experiences takes place, the mind starts thinking, our own mind that is heavily conditioned, oh, what's happening? What will happen? Nothing is going to happen. And whatever happens will be right. So sometimes unconscious fears also returns. The most important part of this journey is that Eastern wisdom aims at a radical transformation. Why I say radical? The science knows about the mind, the habit, the capacities of the mind, the power of the mind. The Eastern wisdom says what is behind the mind. So we want to discover what is behind the mind. Science knows what is in front of the mind. So that is what I say, it's a radical transformation. So when we undergo these practices, we move into unusual experiences. We have to be very careful regarding myth and the facts, hallucinations and imaginations. We have to filter it out. Because if you get obsessed with those hallucination and imagination, I see God, continue to see God, then what? That is almost, but question is, seeing God does help you. Now, I'm not against any religion, God, but my session is freed from all those things. So how are you doing?
I think very relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Very.
Remain relaxed until next week. Don't lose that. Wonderful. How are you? How are you, my friend?
Good, peaceful, relaxed. I felt like I was sitting in the middle of the ocean, but on top of the water when I was meditating.
That's good. Ocean is something, that is very soothing, calming. Wonderful. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay, I'm relaxed.
You're
I was a little dizzy when we were coming out.
yeah.
And my arms, my hands are numb.
Yeah. It's okay. Continue the journey. So after some time, what happens? The brain acclimatizes and withstand these practices. Then these symptoms will not occur. So it's because, it changes. But don't think that you are miserable. You are the most happy person. Yes. Yeah? Guide her. You are her friend. So how are you?
Good, I'm ready for a nap.
That's good. How are you? Good. Let me summarize that. I started talking of different words, and later on I found that Eastern wisdom, it says what? Where lies the ignorance? In the mind. What the ignorance causes? It causes the error. What is that error? Errors is the stress and the suffering, the anxiety and the reactions and you can include all illnesses of the physical, mental, emotional level. Means what? The Eastern wisdom says, because I live in ignorance, that causes the error, and the error causes the suffering. And then what I feel? I'm miserable. You're the only one who sent. You're the only one the God sent you on the earth to be miserable. What's this? What is this? Oh, I'm so miserable. So be miserable. Live miserable. So all these masters says refuse consciously, intellectually, by applying these principles that I discuss every week. You have to apply those principles in your life. It is not one day affair. No, it is not 1 hour. Take these principles in your daily life and apply these principles. Remember, The thinker is saying me, looking at someone, no. Let the thinker inside change. No, no. Refuse to be miserable. So solution also lies in the mind. Where is the ignorance? In the mind. So if we put knowledge in the mind, the ignorance is removed. Why I am saying this, and especially in this session, we get obsessed with doing lot of things. Kundalini, imagination, then I will be doing this, then I will be doing this. The master here says, doing a particular practice with awareness so that it doesn't become habitual and conditional will help you to remove the ignorance of the mind. And the moment it becomes habitual and conditional, then what happens? Then you don't discover peace and happiness. A very thin line. Very thin line. That is why I said the last 3 steps are the most powerful steps. Why? You're not asking the mind to do anything with an effort. Did you understand that? When you open the light, what you have to do with the darkness? Do you need to fight with the darkness when there is a light? There is no darkness. But still we fight. Still we fight. Let me do it. Let me do it. So you get obsessed. And that obsession is a part of the ignorance. Nothing happens. That's all for today. If you